Okay, so we've got a quadratic here with a value where a is not 1. In other words, you've got a, usually, I know this is m, but if it normally would say it's x, so ax squared plus bx plus c. We've got to try to factorize this, but we have a value for a that is above 1. It makes it a lot harder. To be honest with you, I forget exactly how to do this at the moment. So what I'm going to show you in this video is how to use Desmos to help us with these kinds of questions. So we're going to, in fact, can I? Oh, I can't. I can't highlight the text. I'll just remember 5x squared plus 7x minus 6. So let's get rid of that one. And we'll write y equals 5x squared. You know the way you can 5x squared is do x and then do this to the power of 2. And then we go plus, and I've forgotten it already, 7x minus 6. 7x minus 6. Okay, right, it's clearly very, very big. That's no surprise because it says 5x squared, so it's going to make everything much bigger. All right. Now, what we're looking for, I'm going to just use zoom annotate to show you what's going on here and how I'm working this out. Basically, we're going to get something to be in a value of this, where it's going to be, in fact, I'm pretty certain we're going to have 5x as one thing and 1, and then plus, and then something, and then x plus something else. Now, the reason why I think it's that, I think if it was an even number there, I think it wasn't necessary because it's an odd number. Well, it's a prime number more specifically, actually. Then it's going to be 5 times 1 would give you the 5x squared first. Then how to get the other ones is a little bit unclear at the moment. But what we can say is that we've got, well, it is a bit trickier though, actually. Well, we've got the values of x is equal to minus 2, or we've got x is equal to, I'm just going to just zoom in on that. What's that? Is it? Yeah, it's exactly 0.6. So x is 0.6. Now, presumably then, that's the value that is going to be over here, because you're going to then, basically what you're going to do is you're going to multiply that by 5. I'll explain why in a moment. Well, maybe I can explain why now. If we say that these values are, what can we call these values? Let's give them a letter. I just need to I'll just write it in. Okay, so let's call them W and Y. No, not Y. That's going to confuse things. W and Z. So basically, just like in all quadratics, we're going to say either this on this graph here, because it's going to say when y is equal to 0, either this is equal to 0 or that is equal to 0. So 5x plus w is equal to 0, or x plus z is equal to 0. So that's when y equals 0. Okay. So basically we got, so x is equal to w. So we would rearrange that to say that x is equal to w over 5. And what we're going to find is, in fact, we're going to find that, I'll just call it minus w over 5, but I'm going to change that because it's going to be, both of them are going to be, no, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to not rearrange it. I'll do that, minus w. And then we've got, and this one would rearrange to x is equal to z. So what we'll say then is this z here, minus z. So in the first case, so let's say that's 1, that's 2, So let's do the second case first. In the second case, x is equal to, well, we can see it's equal to -2. So that means that z would be 2 because, well, so if x is equal to -2, it's annoying that my z looks like a 2. It's going to confuse things even further. Let's make sure my z's look like z's. Okay. So if x is equal to -2 and also x is equal to z, then z must be -2. So that means up here we can say that's actually going to be -2. And then there's the w. 5x is equal to, sorry, 5 plus x is equal, 5x plus w is equal to 0. So x is equal to -w over 5. But x is also equal to 0.6. So that's equal to -w over 5. So now we would multiply that. So that means w is equal to, and it's going to be minus 0.6 times 5. So that's equal to, let's just do that in the calculator. I have a funny feeling, I've got this feeling that I've made a mistake at some point. It's got a bit complicated, doesn't it? -3. We can check this out in a moment, but if I've got this right now, I feel like I've got a little bit confused along the way, but we can check this out or retrace our steps. So I'm saying that when we factorize it, and this is just me cheating by looking at the graph, by the way, I'm going to factorize it as not plus, but -3 multiplied by x, and then it's going to be plus, wait a second, where is it? -2. I feel like, okay, so I forgot to press record for part of that video, but if you just look at all these notes here, then I've shown that when I can factorize it by studying the graph, and I can check it by expanding it back out again to see if that's the case, or by putting it into this. And when we turn these graphs off, that we can see that they're identical to each other. So that is one way to do. That's one way to check your answer using Desmos if you forget how to actually how to factorize these questions.